The United States and Russia are facing off at the United Nations now, accusing each other of stoking a war over Ukraine. Of course, it is Russia, and only Russia, that has massed 100, 120, 130,000 troops along Ukraine's border, depending on the source. America's ambassador to the UN made that clear today.
Russia's aggression today not only threatens Ukraine, it also threatens Europe. It threatens the international order this body is charged with upholding. This is the largest, hear me clearly, mobilization of troops in Europe in decades. And as we speak, Russia is sending even more forces and arms to join them.
Yeah, the Russians are doing that. The Russians are mobilizing a massive military force capable of launching a full-scale invasion of the nation. Yet Russia's ambassador insists it's the U.S. that's whipping up hysteria, as he put it, and that Russia has no plans to attack Ukraine.
The discussions about a threat of war is provocative in and of itself. You are almost calling for this. You want it to happen. You're waiting for it to happen, as if you want to make your words become a reality.
Well, you could send your troops home. Russia's been pouring troops and military vehicles and fighter jets into Belarus as well. That's a close ally of Russia that borders Ukraine. Today, the U.S. accused Russia of planning to deploy, hear this, 30,000 troops near the Belarus-Ukraine border by early next month, which is tomorrow, less than 2 hours away from Ukraine's capital city of Kyiv. And now, a senior U.S. defense official confirms to NBC News that Russia has been moving supplies of blood to the Ukrainian border. U.S. officials have long warning for weeks now, that when Russia starts bringing plasma to the border, that would be a warning sign that they're in the final stages of preparation for military action. As the United States confronted Russia at the UN today, President Biden again threatened swift and severe consequences should Russia invade Ukraine.
We continue to urge diplomacy as the best way forward. But with Russia's continuing its buildup of its forces around Ukraine, we are ready no matter what happens.
The Ukrainian military now estimates Russia has massed up to 130,000 troops, plus tanks and artillery, right at their doorstep. CNBC senior White House correspondent Kayla Tausche live in Washington on our top story tonight. Kayla.
Well, Washington is responding to all of those details you laid out, Shep. Tonight, the White House and top senators are in the final stages of crafting a multi-part sanctions package as talks zero in on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline and the need to roll out some sanctions now.
We are considering some sanctions that might take effect immediately because, to tell you the truth, Russia has already taken provocative action that has caused damage to the Ukrainian economy that merits consequence. Hopefully, we'll be able to announce a deal in the short term.
Three aides briefed on the matter tell CNBC the White House is considering more targeted sanctions against individuals for Russian conduct that's already taken place, like those facilitating the buildup of Russian troops at the Ukraine border, similar to sanctions that Treasury has already placed on those running disinformation campaigns. But the most crippling economic measures, and those the U.S. and U.K. are focusing on top Putin aides, are still held out for deterrence.
The individuals we've identified are in or near the inner circle of the Kremlin and play a role in government decision-making, or at a minimum, complicit in the Kremlin's destabilizing behavior. Many of these individuals are particularly vulnerable targets because of their deepened financial ties with the West, meaning they would be hurt by sanctions that are tying them to Western financial systems.
And today at the White House, President Biden welcomed the ruling emir of Qatar, an energy-rich Gulf nation involved in negotiations to send more gas to Europe if its ties with Russia are severed. EU officials tell me Europe's current stored gas supply would only last 6 weeks if that happened. Tomorrow, another attempt at a diplomatic outcome. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will speak by phone with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov after the U.S. sent a written proposal addressing Russia's security concerns, and Russia has reportedly written back. Undersecretary Victoria Nuland told CBS the existence of that call tomorrow is one sign Russia may want to engage. Shep?
Kayla Tausche, thank you.